Once upon a time, there was a boy named Omar who loved to explore the desert. One day, he found a lamp buried in the sand and decided to dig it out. He rubbed the lamp, hoping to find a genie inside. To his surprise, 5 genies popped out of the lamp and greeted him. "Hello, young master. We are the 5 genies, and we can grant you 1 wish each. But be careful, for we are all different and have our own rules." The first genie was blue and said, "I am a blue genie, and I can give you what you want, not what you ask for." The second genie was green and said, "I am a green genie, and I can give you what you ask for, not what you want." The third genie was yellow and said, "I am a yellow genie, and I can grant your wish in a random way." The fourth genie was black and said, "I am a black genie, and I can demand something in return for your wish." The fifth genie was red and said, "I am a red genie, and I can twist your wish into something harmful." Omar was amazed and excited by the sight of the 5 genies. He thought that he could have anything he wanted with their help. He decided to start with the blue genie and said, "I wish for a lot of fun." The blue genie snapped his fingers and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar looked around and saw that he was now in a circus tent with a lot of clowns, animals, and acrobats. He felt happy at first, but then he realized that he had no ticket or seat. He also noticed that the clowns were throwing pies at him, the animals were chasing him, and the acrobats were dropping him. "What have you done?" Omar cried. "You gave me fun, but it's all bad." The blue genie smiled and said, "You wanted fun, so I gave you fun. You didn't ask for safe or comfortable ones. That's the way I work. Now, let's move on to the next genie." Omar realized that he had made a mistake and wished for something else. He said to the green genie, "I wish for a lot of love." The green genie snapped his fingers and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar looked around and saw that he was now in a beautiful garden with a lot of flowers, birds, and butterflies. He felt happy at first, but then he realized that he had no partner or friends. He also noticed that the flowers were poisonous, the birds were pecking him, and the butterflies were biting him. "What have you done?" Omar complained. "You gave me love, but it's all bad." The green genie shrugged and said, "You asked for love, so I gave you love. You didn't ask for true or gentle ones. That's the way I work. Now, let's move on to the next genie." Omar realized that he had made another mistake and wished for something else. Omar said to the yellow genie, "I wish for a lot of wisdom." The yellow genie snapped his fingers and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar looked around and saw that he was now in a library with a lot of books, scrolls, and tablets. He felt happy at first, but then he realized that he had no time or interest to read them. He also noticed that the books were written in languages he didn't understand. The scrolls were torn and faded, and the tablets were broken and missing. "What have you done?" Omar asked. "You gave me wisdom, but it's all bad." The yellow genie laughed and said, "You asked for wisdom, so I gave you wisdom. You didn't ask for useful or accessible ones. That's the way I work. Now, let's move on to the next genie." The black genie is one of the 5 genies that Omar encountered in the desert. He is a genie who can demand something in return for a wish. He is not very friendly or helpful, and he likes to bargain and trade with his master. He will ask for something that is valuable or important to the master, such as their health, wealth, or happiness. If the master agrees, he will grant their wish, but if they refuse, he will not. He is very cunning and greedy, and he will try to trick the master into making a bad deal. He is not to be trusted or taken lightly. Omar was very cautious and wary of the black genie. He knew that the black genie would ask for something in return for his wish, and he didn't want to lose anything that was precious to him. He thought hard and tried to come up with a wish that would not cost him too much. He said to the black genie, "I wish for a lot of luck." The black genie smiled and said, "Your wish is granted. But in exchange, I will take your sight. You will be blind for the rest of your life." Omar was shocked and horrified by the black genie's demand. He said, "No, no, no. I can't agree to that. That's too much. Please, ask for something else." The black genie shook his head and said, "Sorry, young master, that's the price of your wish. You can either accept it or reject it, but you can't change it. That's the way I work. Now, what will it be?" Omar was very scared and confused by the situation. He had to make a choice between his wish and his sight. He wondered if the black genie was telling the truth or lying to him. He thought about what luck could do for him, and what blindness could take away from him. He decided that he didn't want to risk losing his sight for something that he wasn't sure about. He said to the black genie, "I reject your offer. I don't want your wish. Please, leave me alone." The black genie frowned and said, "Very well, young master. You have made your choice, but you have wasted your opportunity. You will never get another chance to make a wish with me. That's the way I work. Now, let's move on to the last genie." Omar felt relieved and regretful at the same time. He had avoided a terrible fate, but he had also missed a possible fortune. He hoped that the last genie would be better than the others. He turned to the red genie and said, "What can you do for me?" "Okay, I'll continue the story for you. Here is what happened next." Omar turned to the red genie and said, "What can you do for me?" The red genie grinned and said, "I am a red genie, and I can twist your wish into something harmful. You have to be very careful what you wish for, because I will make it come true in the worst possible way. You won't be able to undo it or escape it. You will suffer the consequences of your wish for the rest of your life." Omar was terrified and disgusted by the red genie. He knew that the red genie was the most dangerous of all. He didn't want to make a wish with him, but he had no choice. He had to use all of his wishes with the 5 genies, or else they would never leave him alone. He thought hard and tried to come up with a wish that would not harm him or anyone else. He said to the red genie, "I wish for peace." The red genie snapped his fingers and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar looked around and saw that he was now in a cemetery with a lot of graves. He felt sad at first, but then he realized that he was the only living person left in the world. He also noticed that he had no food, water, shelter, or companionship. "What have you done?" Omar screamed. "You gave me peace, but it's all bad." The red genie laughed and said, "You asked for peace, so I gave you peace. You didn't ask for life or happiness. That's the way I work. Now, you have completed your wishes with the 5 genies. Congratulations, young master. You have passed the test." Omar was confused and angry by the red genie's words. He said, "What test? What are you talking about?" The red genie explained, "This lamp is not an ordinary lamp. It is a magic lamp that contains the 5 genies. We are not here to grant your wishes, we are here to test your character. We are here to see if you are worthy of the true power of the lamp." Omar was shocked and curious by the red genie's revelation. He said, "What true power? What do you mean?" The red genie said, "The true power of the lamp is that it can grant any wish without any rules or consequences. It can give you anything you want, without any limits or drawbacks. It can make you happy and fulfilled for eternity. But only if you pass our test." Omar was amazed and hopeful by the red genie's description. He said, "How do I pass your test? How do I get the true power of the lamp?" The red genie said, "You pass our test by showing us that you are wise, humble, generous, brave, and kind. You show us that you don't wish for selfish or greedy things, but for noble and good things. You show us that you don't let your wishes control you, but that you control your wishes." Omar was doubtful and skeptical by the red genie's criteria. He said, Omar said, "How do I know that you are telling the truth? How do I know that you are not lying to me or tricking me?" The red genie said, "You don't know, young master. You have to trust us or not. You have to believe us or not. You have to take a risk or not. That's the final part of the test. You have to show us that you have faith in yourself and in us." Omar was silent and thoughtful for a moment. He looked at the 5 genies and remembered all the wishes he had made with them. He remembered all the good and bad things that had happened to him because of his wishes. He remembered all the lessons he had learned from his mistakes. He decided that he had nothing to lose and everything to gain. He decided that he wanted to try his luck and see if he could get the true power of the lamp. He decided that he wanted to pass the test and prove himself worthy. He said to the red genie, "Okay, I trust you. I believe you. I take the risk. I want the true power of the lamp." The red genie smiled and said, "Very well, young master. You have made your choice. You have passed our test. You have shown us that you are wise, humble, generous, brave, and kind. You have shown us that you don't wish for selfish or greedy things, but for noble and good things. You have shown us that you don't let your wishes control you, but that you control your wishes. You have shown us that you have faith in yourself and in us." The red genie snapped his fingers and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar looked around and saw that he was now holding the lamp in his hand. He felt a surge of power and joy in his heart. He realized that he had the true power of the lamp. The red genie said, "Congratulations, young master. You have earned the true power of the lamp. You can now make any wish you want, without any rules or consequences. You can now have anything you want, without any limits or drawbacks. You can now be happy and fulfilled for eternity." Omar was overjoyed and grateful by the red genie's words. He said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for giving me this amazing gift. Thank you for teaching me this valuable lesson. Thank you for being my friends." The red genie said, "You're welcome, young master. You deserve it. You earned it. You are our friend." The other 4 genies nodded and smiled at Omar. They said, "You're welcome, young master. You deserve it. You earned it. You are our friend." Omar hugged the 5 genies and thanked them again. He felt happy and proud of himself. He felt like he had achieved his greatest dream. He said to the 5 genies, "What should I do now? What should I wish for?" The 5 genies said, "That's up to you, young master. You can wish for anything you want. But remember, use your power wisely and kindly. Don't forget what we taught you and what you learned from us." Omar nodded and agreed with the 5 genies. He said, "I will remember, I promise." He thought about what he wanted to wish for first. He decided to wish for something simple and good. He said to the lamp, "I wish for a happy ending." The lamp glowed and said, "Your wish is granted." Omar felt a warm and peaceful feeling in his soul. He looked at the 5 genies and smiled at them. He said, "This is a happy ending." They said, "Yes, it is." They all laughed and hugged each other.